An incredible amount of capital is flowing into the city right now. And a lot of it has been committed to some huge long term developments like Sterling Bay's 55 plus acre Lincoln Yards and related companies' 62 acre Chicago 78. I guess there's 77 neighborhoods now, so this is like the 78th. Now, these two deals alone are expected to be worth $13 billion. Now, they call these generational developments because they're going to take like 20 years to complete. And I mean, think about that for just a minute. I mean, these companies have invested their capital into vacant land where much of it won't even be developed for 10 or 15 years. Now, they have to carry it till then, which would make absolutely no sense if they weren't expecting land values to increase substantially by that time. But if you think about it, there's never been a time in recent history where land values have not increased substantially over a 10 or 20 year period. They know that sites like these won't be available in the future and they're going to be worth much, much more. And one reason that they can have this confidence is that these type of generational developments are not unprecedented here. So let's take a quick look at just a little bit of Chicago history and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
So here we're looking at Soldier Field, the Field Museum, and this is where Roosevelt Road comes into the lake here, right? This neighborhood right across Lakeshore Drive from Soldier Field is called Central Station. Now, in 1989, shortly after I started in real estate, Jerry Fogelson purchased about 35 acres of air rights from the Illinois Central Railroad here, along with adjacent about 35 acres of land that was like a blighted warehouse district. And through the 1990s, he began building this Central Station neighborhood. He started with these low-rise townhomes in here, and then coming into the 2000s, he started putting up bigger buildings, and he sold off some of the high-rise site to some other developers. And about 2009, Ron Shipka built these iconic towers right here on Roosevelt Road that you see, and those were the last buildings kind of built over there. So it was about a 20-year period, and Central Station just totally transformed the South Loop area. It was the anchor for everything around there. And so during that 20 years, things changed dramatically. To give you an idea, this is what it used to look like. This is the old Illinois Central train station right there, which was torn down in the 1970s. And behind there, you can see the old Soldier Field before they dropped the dome on top of it. So this area used to be quite different back then. Now, if you go to the north end of Millennium Park, you have another mega development neighborhood right here, which is Lakeshore East. Now, this area, again, to give you an idea what that used to look like, this was where the old S-turn came through there. And the city straightened this out in the 1980s, and it left a site. Again, this was all railroad land and the right-of-ways above that. But in the 1980s, when they straightened out Lakeshore Drive, it left a site about 28 acres there. And the city actually leased it in 1994 till about 2001 to an operator that operated this golf course over there. 9-hole golf course. It was below the level of Lakeshore Drive, but up on the air rights above the land down below there. And in 2001, Jim Lowenberg and Jerry Carlin bought the Magellan group. They bought this site for about $80 million, I think. And again, so 2001, they're just finishing it up now. Over that 20-year period, with a little break for the Great Recession, they built this entire neighborhood, just kind of one building after the next. They just kept putting them up. And again, some of the most iconic residential and some office in there, but mostly residential towers. And it also includes, there's a park in the middle of it there. And it's just really changed this whole east side over by Navy Pier and everything there. So obviously, all of this land would be, like gold for a developer today.
I guess I get a bit nostalgic talking about Chicago development history. So next time we're going to look at Related Midwest and Sterling Bay's current mega development plans. Now, both Lakeshore East and Central Station, they're mixed use projects, but both were much more focused on the residential component. Now, the 78 and Lincoln Yards, they also include quite a bit of residential, but they have a really important office component and public use spaces that really set a new standard for these type of projects. Now, times have changed, and these two projects are set to really make a huge impact on our market. So we'll talk more about them next time, and look forward to that. Okay, thanks.